To simplify these explanations, since there's going to be so many homework questions for you to do, I'm just going to focus on a strengthen and a weaken and what a good answer choice would look like, instead of listing out all 5 answer choices. So we have a question stem here, and I'll let you give that a read. You can hit pause in the video if you want to take a second to evaluate both of these strengthen and weaken answer choices here. And basically what this question stem is saying is that a study found coffee drinkers are twice as likely to experience severe anxiety. For this reason, anyone looking to reduce serious anxiety should consider removing coffee from their diet. So this is the conclusion. And we have some conclusionary language here. For this reason, and that's going to be followed by the conclusion. And so words like however are very conclusionary and basically lead us to information that will likely sum up all of the evidence we've seen prior to it and give us like a final, this is what we're learning from all the information above. And the conclusion is the most important part. So our conclusion here is anyone looking to reduce anxiety should consider removing coffee from their diet. Now this is pretty broad and open because it says should consider, but it's a little narrow because it said anyone, and that is very specific. So a good strengthen answer choice would be a piece of evidence that reinforces or connects the information we've given or evidence we've given that have led to this conclusion with the conclusion itself. And if I look at answer choice A here, individuals who experience significant anxiety do not often turn to coffee as a means for managing their anxious behavior. Why is that a strengthen? Why does that strengthen the argument? Well, it strengthens it by removing a possible scenario. It removes the scenario in which anxiety causes people to drink coffee. Anxiety equals coffee is a lot different than coffee equals anxiety. And this is known as correlation versus causation and reverse causation. So if anxiety leads people to drink coffee, then stopping the coffee consumption doesn't necessarily get rid of the anxiety. It would just mean that you were still anxious, but you weren't consuming any coffee. But if coffee leads to anxiety, then drinking coffee leads you to be anxious. And if you stop that behavior, you will not be anxious. So this removes the possibility that this first situation exists. And in doing so, strengthens the possibility that this is our situation. And that's why answer choice A strengthens it. It removes this possibility from being an option. Answer choice B is a weaken, and it says in many cases, individuals who do not consume coffee regularly are no more likely to experience serious anxiety if they begin consuming coffee on a regular basis. This basically says that in a controlled situation, if you introduce coffee to people, it doesn't give them worse anxiety, which leads us to believe that coffee is not causing anxiety. There may be other factors that are influencing it, like our option number 1 here, where we have the reverse causation of what we were initially expecting. And so that's why answer choice B weakens it, because it says that when you control for variables, basically, coffee does not cause any sort of serious anxiety beyond what you would normally get. And so this is strengthen versus weaken. We focus on specific language, both in the question stem and our answer choices. So serious anxiety, why is it serious? Maybe I would have some answer choices that just dealt with anxiety and it was too general. We have a study that looked only at coffee drinkers. So if I start talking about tea drinkers and try to draw an analogy to coffee drinkers in my answer choice, that might be out of scope. Conclusion language is super important. Finding the conclusion by looking for language like for this reason is a good way to identify the words that we care about and focus in on the right part of the sentence to strengthen or weaken. And scope words in your answer choices, like some, none, no, more. So you're not any more likely. That means you're just as likely or less likely, right? So those are scope words. Do not often turn. So this means that like sometimes they may, but not often, which means it doesn't happen regularly. And that's some scope language as well. So scope language affects the impact of our answer choices, and it's a good thing to focus on generally in critical reasoning.